Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. Now, as somebody that's always on the lookout for the next big tech company or something that might be off your radar, I recently came across a company called Jellysmack, which is a tech unicorn that is using technology and data to help creators go bigger at every stage of their journey. And what also caught my attention was Jellysmack was named #1 most innovative company in video by Fast Company. And it's not until you look at previous winners of that, which include Apple, I think in 2021, and Vimeo in 2020, that you realise what a big deal that is. And yes, initially, it was their video data optimization technology that captured my attention, how they're driving massive social audience growth for creators, unlocking new revenue streams, amplifying monetization, and how they do that with technology. That was all the cool stuff that drew me into them. But it was when I went a little bit deeper that I quickly uncovered an inspiring story about a team of creatives who created tech to empower other creatives. But I don't want to reveal too much, so buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to Wimbledon, where Jason Brown is waiting to join us in conversation today. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are, what you do, and maybe share your origin story with everyone too?
Yeah, sure. Jason Brown, I work for a company called Jellysmack, who lead the global creator economy, helping creators go multi-channel and go bigger, building revenue streams, commercial opportunities, and essentially building new business for our creators to enable them to do what they do best, which is create amazing content. And we handle all the essentially boring stuff, if you like, building the extra businesses for them, etc. And I work directly into the head of, and I am the VP of UK and EMEA English content creators, if that makes sense. So anybody who deals with English content across the UK and EMEA, I'm here to look after, reach out, speak to, build relationships, forge new business opportunities for them across that region.
And you say you do a lot of the boring stuff, but I think you're underselling it there a little bit, because one of the things that put you on my radar is how you detect and develop the world's most talented video creators using artificial intelligence. And as I do a daily tech podcast, that's pure gold for me. But can you tell me more about the story behind the company and the problems you help solve for the customers with the technology?
When I say boring, that's normally based on the fact that I tend to talk to people that are creative. So they want to go out there, want to build amazing content. They want to, some of them are doing things around eating, some are doing true crime, some are doing, beauty, gaming, etc. So that's obviously exciting to people, sports, etc. And talking about generally when you tell, but look at this amazing tech and data, you see people glazing over a little bit sometimes, So I don't think it's boring, but I'm just so used to talking to people about it. And they're like, no, but like, tell me about this creator. So, I mean, we essentially started out as a creator. We're creators at heart. So the founders built and operate, and we still do, very, very successful channels, to include, and I always forget one, Oh My Goal, which is essentially the largest social media football channel in the world, with like between 1.1, 1.2 billion views a month. Wow. We have Gameology, which is about 1 billion views a month. We have Beauty Studio, which is about the same. We have House of Bounce, which is a huge basketball channel, which is about 700-800 million views a month. And the list goes on. There'll be others, which I'm sure my esteemed PR guys will jump in and tell you about a bit later. But we're always growing more and more operating own channels. Hence the reason we've got Fight Source, which we've launched recently as well. So we are creators who drove and built our own creative channels. And essentially, this is where Jellysmack was born from, because the founders were like, hey, we're building this amazing tech. We have this amazing data. How can we help other creators do what we're doing, which is like grow multiple opportunities across multiple channels? So, for example, an easiest opportunity is build a YouTube channel and drive it across Facebook. So they then obviously put this into the market. People found it very interesting. Content creation is growing bigger and bigger, and therefore they, I'm paraphrasing because I don't know the exact route, but essentially funding came in, opportunities to work with people like MrBeast, PewDiePie, etc. came along, and here we are today. So we have 500 plus creators globally, and we're growing every day, working across multiple different sectors, helping creators work across from YouTube into Facebook, working TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch now. Many opportunities now for them to grow what they do already, which is build content on, for example, YouTube. They continue to do this stuff on YouTube, build amazing content. We just expand their business, edit, produce, AI, tech, etc., and build more revenue streams and business for them, which they own, by the way, across multiple channels. So that's sort of where we are now. That's a very quick précis. I'm sure if you ask the founders, they can give you a huge more detail. But the key really is we're creators at heart. We understand creativity. We understand data. We've got amazing AI and tech behind in the background, working with, which is also very important, amazing people. Because I think when we talk about AI and tech and data, everybody forgets the people behind it. Because my view is, you have an amazing race car. I think we were talking about Formula One earlier. But if nobody's driving it, or a poor driver, it doesn't really make a lot of odds, right? So you need to work in tandem. So we've got amazing people with amazing tech and data and AI, added to the fact that we're creators at heart and we understand creators, put that together. We're in the enviable position of being able to be the best in the business to help people grow bigger.
It's incredibly cool what you're doing here. And I suspect if you were to add up all the followers of all your clients, it'd be more than many countries in the world. And if we zoom out, though, of course, Jellysmack and your technology is actually optimizing and distributing content for over 500 leading individual creators across so many platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube. And you mentioned Twitch a few moments ago there as well. But do you have any examples of how it works and how you're enabling creators to do all those cool things of growing audience, maximizing earnings, and ultimately generating more revenue opportunities for them?
I do, but as you'd appreciate, I've got to be very overview about this because I can't really talk about individuals and what they do and anything else because obviously, for various privacy reasons and respect for client confidentiality, but I can give you an overview. So we'll work with the creators whereby, and let me give the story. So, and I think it's always easier just to stick with YouTube to Facebook, because I think otherwise we start getting very complicated. And I think we need to just be quite clear about what we do. So we'll use AI and tech and the many billions of data points we had previously, where we've obviously got our owned and operated channels. And as we've grown and matured, the data we've got collected through obviously driving other creators into multiple channels. So we have that data, we have the AI and tech, and we put that out into the ether, if you like, and we then look at people across, in this instance, YouTube, with some amazing people operating it, and look at people that we believe, or creators we believe, that are, I guess, leaving money on the table, which is essentially in this example, not monetizing the best or monetizing at all, or not maximizing the opportunity. Again, in this example, we will reach out to them via our tech and say to them, hey guys, there's some real opportunity for you to grow your business. We talk to them. Most of the time, they look massively busy. They're already producing loads of content on YouTube. They don't understand how to monetize Facebook properly because of all the various algorithms, etc. You've got to obviously navigate by different platform, and Facebook has been notoriously very difficult in this respect. The burnout factor and many other things. So we say to them, look, we're not looking to do anything other than help you grow bigger, go bigger, commercialize, set up separate revenue stream. And in this example, I always like to turn around and say, look, take the emotion out of it. What we're trying to do is go, hey, you've got a business. You have an office in London, for example. You're earning really good money. You're doing really well. I'm coming to you and saying, I want to put you an office in Australia, an office in New York, an office in Paris, an office in Miami. You haven't got to do anything more. Just keep doing what you're doing in London. We'll do the marketing. We'll build the offices. We'll employ people. We'll do what we need to, and we're going to set you up new businesses in different places. And we're going to give you a percentage of that revenue. You own those businesses, and you've got to do no more than what you're doing already. And to continue it further with the tech, we have this amazing tech in the background, which also helps us edit videos and content at a massively rapid rate, faster than anybody else globally. Again, which is important because in some cases we edit individual content up to 100 times to then find the right form of, I guess, content, I keep using the word content, but that's the only way you can say it, right form of content or creativity that will work for that specific person on Facebook to drive the maximum amount of views and revenue. There's huge amounts of work in the background. We have community managers, content strategists, acquisition specialists, brand safety specialists, et cetera, all come together with the AI and tech to drive commercial opportunities and build their business on, in this case, from YouTube to Facebook, without them having to do any more. If they want to, amazing. We work with people and sometimes they really want to get involved, and we work with them and build bespoke content or advise them on what type of content to build. But generally speaking, the idea is you get on with what you do best, build content, and we'll do what we do best, drive you multiple revenues streams via AI tech and amazing best-in-class people.
And one of the things that stands out as well is when we're talking about view counts and followers, we're not talking about hundreds and thousands. We're talking about millions and even billions. So to bring to life what you've just talked about there, do you have any stats that you can share around what you do?
Yeah, I mean, again, I won't mention the bills because it's not fair, but I mean, we have people, creators earning six figures or more a month from extended revenues, such as from Facebook or other channels that weren't previously, and where they're only maybe achieving revenues in one channel. In this example, maybe YouTube. We've got multiple creators that have been launched on Facebook from scratch and have made up to, in some cases, 6, 7, 8, even 12 million followers within a 12-month period. So, there's multiple examples that we can say across where they're earning, as I say, six figures or more a month and have grown exponentially in terms of followers on different platforms, in this case, Facebook, within 12 months, millions of followers. And therefore gained a whole new revenue stream, a whole new audience base, because obviously, generally speaking, each vertical will have a slightly different audience, if not sometimes a very different audience. So they grow their audience. And there's also that halo effect. So they then come onto YouTube as well. So they grow subscribers in YouTube and revenue. They have this whole sort of cyclical effect as well. So, and we work with some of the biggest creators I mentioned, like PewDiePie, MrBeast, we have Brad Mondo, we have Robert Welsh, James Welsh. I don't want to mention too many individuals because I always miss someone and then they get offended. But, we have so many quality creators that working with us, that staying with us and seeing huge growth, both in revenue, followers, and then also the extra relationship we build. We have internal teams that work hand in glove on a daily, weekly, monthly, hourly basis, reporting data, advice, interaction, questions, Q&A, everything that work individually at their own account managers that help them build success as well. And not including then all the tech, the AI, and the huge amounts of, like I say, editors, producers, content strategies, brand safety, et cetera, et cetera. So add it all together. These guys, we build success for them, put a lot of money, a lot of time and energy to build success for them and build their business. So there's huge amount of success. And pretty much every creator we work with has seen huge exponential growth.
And away from your customers there, the creators, etc., I was also reading before you came on the podcast today about your Series C funding from SoftBank Vision Fund last year, which I believe catapulted your company to unicorn status. Can you expand on that?
Yes, I indeed had my own wings. Again, I'm not allowed to give out exact figures and stuff, but indeed, yes, I believe the funding has catapulted us into, I believe actually more to sort of like in the lower multiple billions now, and put us into, like you say, the sphere of being the global creator business for the creator economy. We are really working hand in glove with currently some of the biggest creators globally, but also talking to and expanding that further, which is all about working with them to build their business and grow bigger. And it's important, again, to go back to, we are creators at heart. And the whole thing we want to do is give people the benefit of our knowledge and expertise that we've garnered for ourselves. And I think that's why SoftBank, in this particular instance, looked at what we do, saw that we are, at the number one already, and we're only going to get bigger and stronger. And, they've put their money where they see the biggest opportunity. And I think that's why we've managed to get that type of funding. And that's why we're in a situation to expand where we are, what we're doing, and how we operate to be the best we can for creators. And I don't think it's going to get bigger. So, my view on this is SoftBank are there. They've invested heavily into us, and I think they can see, what we've done previously, but are actually already seeing the fruits of that in terms of how we've grown further, built up a already huge stable of top quality creators. And then we're rolling out new products such as catalog licensing, shorts programs. We have some of the biggest snack shows in the world. We're moving into content building across like Twitch. We're working with top creators, huge amounts. And this has all happened within maybe the 9 months that I started in the business. And it's only getting bigger and stronger.
And I must admit, before you came on the podcast, I had a quick look at what you guys were doing. And I may have thought that you were pretty much an influencer agency because of the kind of partnerships that you've got. But having listened to you today, it feels like you're more of a strategic partner than that. Is that something you would agree on?
Yeah, an influence agency, I think I can understand why you might think that. But I think you've hit the nail on the head there, actually. We are a strategic partner. We are a business partner. We're looking to grow people's business. We're not here to, we're not like in an influencer agency traditionally will be someone that goes, hey, I've got a portfolio of creators. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, they're not specific to that agency, but they might be within that portfolio. Talk to brands, put them together. Normally it's holding up quite often it's holding up some sort of slimming tea or something, right? But you're building that, it's a paid partnership, it's etc. And obviously now it's getting a bit more clever around content, driving things across multiple channels, etc. and everything else. But essentially that's what they do. What we're doing is looking to build their brand, their opportunity, their revenue streams, and diversify their portfolio, if you like, within the social media community. Now, does that mean that we don't talk about brand partnerships? Generally speaking, yes. However, again, we're always maneuvering. We work with what creators want. A lot of creators are coming to us saying, "Can you help us with growing our commercial opportunities outside of what we're doing already? You've got great access to, media agencies, clients direct and stuff. Can you help us with this?" Well, if that's an opportunity for them, we'll do that on a bespoke basis. But as you say, we're really here to be a strategic partner, help them grow bigger, help them concentrate on what they do best, which is about building amazing content, and take away that burnout. Because obviously there's a situation you've got creators, they're trying to build content, they're trying to work out algorithms on different channels, they're trying to, they're constantly re-editing. We put in a whole team behind everyone individually, and our tech and our AI, and we're really allowing them to get on with what they do best.
And as this is a tech podcast, I've got to ask, can you tell me more about the tech behind the Jellysmack creator program, and maybe take a peek under the hood at what makes it all? Again,
I can't say too much because for the obvious reasons. And actually, there's 2 reasons for that. One is I'm not sure the sheer level that I'm probably allowed to speak about, but I have a very good idea of that. But secondly, to be honest with you, I head up just below the head of EMEA. I look after the partnership side of things across the UK and EMEA. I'm not going to turn around and suggest I should be presenting tomorrow as well. I'm not that level of tech. But essentially, it is around, like I say, it's utilizing our core understanding of what it is to be a creator and how it is to drive individual channels and make them bigger. So as I mentioned before, our original O&O channels, and we're still growing many more. It's about the tech that we use both to utilize those data points and proprietary tech, which allows us to update, change, think AI, for a better phrase, to constantly evolve and understand what makes the creator tick, how we can best implement our strategies to give them the best efficiency and opportunity to drive commercialization. It also allows us to detect creators to allow us to find the best creators that have the best opportunity to grow across multiple channels. And then once we are working with these creators, we have the tech that works with, and a specific example would be, and there's many of them, but the one that always comes to me, which I love, is, which I alluded to earlier, which is our ability to edit vast amounts of content in hugely quick times. So we're talking about even like the biggest platforms globally that people are probably more aware of than Jellysmack. We were able to edit videos at probably 4 times faster than the fastest one out there, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it allows us to work, again, and sometimes produce, re-edit and edit up to 100 times one piece of content find the best one that works correctly for Facebook for this time, put it out there and drive content and drive revenue for that content based on the algorithm, and then going back to our data and AI previously. So they all work hand in glove, from finding the right creators that we believe are going to benefit massively the most, right through to the editing element, which is maximizing their opportunity from their content they're producing, in this instance on YouTube into Facebook. So it's just about speed, efficiency, optimization, and leading to best commercial viability for that creator. And it's literally like a tail from one to the other, with different elements of tech and AI, which is constantly learning, machine learning, understanding, and again, working hand in glove with an amazing team as well of humans to put it together and build those creators. And this is stuff that you just couldn't do as an individual creator, where a huge team, which obviously you've got to pay for. And actually, to be honest with you, you still couldn't do it as quickly because they don't have the access to our tech.
And apologies for the slightly impolite question, but on behalf of everyone listening, how does Jellysmack make money then? Do you take a cut from the creators? Is it about having them on a retainer? How do you guys make money?
Oh, we're non-profit. we like to think of ourselves as philanthropic. No, look, the truth of the matter is we build every channel for the creator. I think this is key first. So every channel we build from scratch for the creator. So for example, we go to yourself and, hey, Neil, you've got an amazing YouTube channel. That's your channel. You're already earning that revenue you earn on that. We're not touching. Right, you're keeping that. And this is for the CP program. I'll go to the CL stuff in a minute.
Yeah.
We will then go, we believe that we can make you bigger revenue on, in this instance, Facebook. You're like, hey, I've tried it. 9 times out of 10, it's something like, yeah, I've tried it. It's a nightmare. The algorithm, whatever, it's taking me cost. Tried it for loads, can't make it happen. Or I never thought about that, or whatever. So we then build that channel for you. Now that channel is owned by you. The content in there is yours.
Yeah.
But we just enter into a contract for a period of time, because obviously we put in huge amounts of time, effort, and money, if we're honest, into building your business. And then we ask for a percentage of that back once we get you some monetization.
Yeah.
And then that feeds that over a period of time with the contract. And at the end of the contract, you can either renew it, or you can then take it on yourself with some sort of revenue share for a little while, obviously to as a buyout, if you like, if you want a better phrase. But it's your content, it's your business, and we've set up a whole new business on one or more other channels with revenue attributed to that on more than one other channels. And essentially all you've had to do, unless you wanted to, is just continue doing your day-to-day that you were doing on YouTube.
Oh, incredibly cool. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. It goes back to the whole office thing, like, hey, look, you've got an office in London. It's a really successful office. Hey, Neil, I don't do anything more. I'm just going to set loads of other offices up for you, and you're going to own those offices, and I'm going to do all the work. I'm going to employ people. I'm going to do the advertising or whatever it happens to be to make those business work. And I just want a percentage of it. And you own everything. That's all it is. And just carry on doing what you're doing in London, by the way, nothing else.
Yeah. And I'm curious, as someone that's working right in the heart of this space, what trends are you seeing in the creator economy at the moment? And is there anything that particularly excites you or you're monitoring closely?
Well, I'll tell you what excites me is I come originally from like luxury, fashion, sports background for content creators and brand partnerships. So everybody always thinks like, oh, wow, you work with Bentley or you did some stuff with Rolex or whatever, right? And they want to be involved in that. But actually, when it comes down to it, you're just doing partnerships. You don't own the business. Nobody gives you a Rolex, right? Or drive a Ferrari. But what I find exciting is looking at finding creators and talking to and finding sectors that actually are just blowing up. Like, for example, if you take the UK, you have, it's not just the UK in this instance, but true crime. This is huge and getting bigger and bigger. In the UK, arts and crafts is such a big sector, doing incredibly well. But these are things that go under the radar because nobody wants to. It's not sexy for people, right? They're like, oh, well, woodwork. But no, it is. If you turn on TV, for example, there's a program called Forged in Fire. May or may not be aware of that. They make swords and knives and stuff. It's American. Guarantee, put it on, you'll watch the end of it. You won't necessarily look for it, but it's like, I think it's like curling or darts or whatever, right? You might not like that, but I guarantee, or fishing, but I guarantee if you flick through it and you sit there and you put it on for 2 minutes, you'll watch it for half an hour. Right. And that's what I find fascinating. It's the underbelly, if you want to put it that way, of these incredible creators that are actually quite gifted at something else other than creating content. So amazing woodwork or incredible forging skills or storytelling, etc. that just happen to be also really good editors and producers, if you like. And I think that's exciting. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this whole sort of underbelly of really, really incredible creators. And also being able to take them and go, hey, you make some amazing woodwork and you're filming it. By the way, we can take you from being somebody who does a day-to-day job that happens to also do a bit of woodwork to someone who can now do your passion as a job, because we're going to make it worth your while, because you can now earn so much money that you can now give up your day job if you wish, and we don't tell them to do that, but quite often when they start earning a revenue, they're like, hey, I can do this full time and I can make more content and I can grow my channel, I can earn more money. And it's just amazing to give these people empowerment and see people grow a whole new revenue, a whole new empowerment, doing jobs they love. But always, not always, but quite often for me, it's because it's just things that people don't, everybody thinks it's going to be, the fitness instructor or the beauty person. And of course they do well, but I just love seeing that. And also, like I say, people understanding quality content and how to extrapolate the data, and helping them do that so they can build better content and viewership and really interact and engage.
Well, I love what you're doing here, and especially how you're empowering creators with your technology. But I'm going to put the spotlight on you now, because we talked about your origin story, what put you on this path. And before I let you go, I'm going to ask you to leave everyone listening with a personal note of inspiration, whether that be a book that has inspired you that we can add to our Amazon wish list, or a song that just helps you get your head in the zone and we can put on our Spotify playlist. All I ask is what you're going to leave us with and what's the story behind that.
I've got 2 books, actually. I mean, I've got many books. I mean, I love reading, but I've got 2 books probably that have been the most influential to me in the last, say, 5 years. One is Tim Ferriss' Tools for Titan. Fantastic book. I think it's so chock full of knowledge, so many case studies and real life things, for everything from like what Arnold Schwarzenegger would do through to a guy, Jocko Willink, who used to be the top guy at Special Forces with the SEALs, and how they implement that and how those strategies can help you drive better success for you individually, personally, and from business. I heartily recommend everybody get that, go through it like I do, highlight areas, read it again. You can never get bored of that. Yeah. And I think the other one would be The Secret, which either you know about it or you don't. And I'm not going to say any more because you have to go and find out about it. But it's all about the power of the mind, manifestation, belief, and sort of putting positivity back into you as an individual, and making you believe that you are in charge of your destiny, where you're going, what you're doing, and how good you can be, and other people aren't. And I think, that added together with decent coaching, which I've always believed in, nutrition, exercise, sleep, put it all together, gives you such a powerful opportunity to learn both from other people and about yourself. And if you have that, then that's been massively positive for me in the last 5 years. And I feel that a lot of my success is down to having that, getting rid of the ego, believing in yourself, and being positive and having the courage of your convictions, because you have that positivity.
Well, I'll add both of those to Amazon wish list. I'm a big fan of Tools for Titans. In fact, with over 2,000 interviews on this podcast, I keep toying with the idea of getting insights from them and doing a similar book. But the idea of going through 2,000 interviews scares the life out of me. And as for The Secret, that's something I'm going to check out. That sounds right up my street. But
it's really good, yeah. It's a really powerful. It's actually a film about it. Such a powerful book. And to be honest with you, you either believe in it or you don't. And it's not a middle ground. You can't do it if you don't believe in it. But for me, I've only found positive from it. And personally, it's worked wonders for me. I wouldn't want to say any more because I think it's down to the individual. But people are either skeptical about it or not. But I personally only found it empowering.
Oh, man, you've got me intrigued now. I'm going to be straight on that in a few moments. But before I let you go, for anyone just wanting to find out more information about Jellysmack, how they can work with you, contact your team, or just find out more information, what's the best starting point for everything?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I can give my personal email out, but you're more than welcome to email me, jason.brown@jellysmack.com. I am very personable. I'll talk to you as much as just that. Obviously, don't ask if I really am a unicorn or if I've got any personal money to give you, because I won't be doing that. But or like I say, jellysmack.com. And of course, we have our Instagram, LinkedIn, other social media outlets. But obviously, if anybody wants to email me, ask about how they can get in touch, talk about our other products, such as our catalog licensing opportunity, where we help creators finance against their back catalog, or how to be involved in our creator program, help them go bigger, please. I represent the entire EMEA region now, including UK. For anybody who has English-speaking content, happy to talk to you and advise you on whether we can help you or put you in front of the right people. More than happy to do that.
Well, at the end of every episode, I always say technology works best when it brings people together. And at the heart of what you're doing here, yes, there's some big numbers such as 10 billion video views monthly, 125 million people, and your influencers combined having a following of something like 360 million. But at the very heart of it, it's about empowering creators. And I love those niche stories that you shared there. And thanks so much for taking the time to come on here and share that with me today.
Pleasure, Neil. Thank you very much. And as I say, I'm really glad you got that, because it is, when it comes down to it, and I'm a big fan of this, same as you're saying there. Yes, we've got the data, we've got the AI, we've got all this, but none of this is possible without clever, intelligent, amazing people that actually essentially give a shit about creators, care about them, want to work with them to make the best and empower them. And that's what it's all about. It's not, when we are a creator at heart, we know what it's like to be a creator and how hard it is. And we want to make sure that we can help people be the best they can be.
What a great guy. And I feel somewhat inspired by our conversation today, especially after his book recommendations there. You know, we dream the same dream, as Belinda Carlisle once sang, which, yes, it dates me somewhat even saying that pop culture reference. But as a creator of content myself, the prospect of having to spin even more plates to grow my business or create additional pieces of content, all that stuff would just scare the life out of me. So I just love that approach of, hey, you keep on doing what you're doing and we're going to go off and build on that. And you don't need to worry about anything. It just feels like a kind of win-win for everyone. But as I said, it's all about technology empowering creatives there. And that was the key message for me. So I hope you enjoyed our conversation today as much as I did. But as always, if you want to email me your thoughts, your opinions, your questions, just email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com. It's an open door policy here. And equally, if you want to connect and DM me on Twitter or LinkedIn, just look for @NeilC.Hughes. Nice and easy to find. But keep those messages coming in as always, and I'll return again tomorrow with another guest. Now, as you all know, every day we cover a different area and talk about how technology is transforming a different industry. Today was all about empowering creatives with technology. But what are we going to talk about tomorrow? Yes, you guessed it. I'm going to spin the wheel of fortune, and where it lands will determine tomorrow's subject and tomorrow's industry that we explore. But where it stops, for that you're going to have to tune in again tomorrow, bright and early, where I'll be hanging around your podcast feed with another interview. But just a big thank you as always for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.